Fasten your seatbelts. It's going to be a bumpy night.
But tell me, Eddie, is that a rabbit in your pocket or you're just happy to see me?
Hello, everybody. Thank you for hanging out with me. I figured that since I wasn't going to be able to do Talk Nerdy to Us, and I'm not even sure if it is going to be happening tonight on my Nerdy Homes channel, I figured I'd go live for a short stream talking about the new Predator movie because this week we got some information, one of which was the official title for the movie and the general window of release for the fifth Predator movie, and I say that very, 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 very loosely at this point. And then, secondly, kind of a sort of a revelation, not exactly conclusive, not exactly definite, but highly suspicious and incredibly plausible potential that Disney, or at least those working on the Predator 5 film, possibly stole the plot from a fan film that premiered in late December, actually on Christmas Eve, December 2019, called Predator Warrior. So we will be kind of going into that a little bit. Data Racer, I don't know if you saw his tweets earlier today, or was it yesterday? I can't remember. But anyway, I saw it today, kind of showing that, yeah, it's kind of easy to put two and two together at this point. Like I said, not necessarily definitive, not necessarily saying that this is like so conclusive that we can definitely say that those working on this movie stole from this plot. However, it is very suspicious. But at any rate, I'm going to say hello to the chat, and then we'll go into first the article going into the title for the new film. So from the top, we have Corey Cochran who says, "Wow, I am not late. How?" Well, at least like I wanted to start early enough so just in case Talk Nerdy to Us was happening tonight that I could get a stream out, because I have to go to bed on the early side again this evening, which is why I couldn't do the normal live stream. But again, thank you all for hanging out with me. Black Samurai says imagination, lol, yes. Trey Courtney says, "Hey Mara, just when I thought the Predator, which has the autism, is the next step in evolution, was bad, well, here we are." Yep, here we are. Basically, Predator 5 was hold my beer. Dave Meyer says, "My desire to see this has gone from 0 to negative numbers." Yeah, pretty much. I mean, I really did not have any desire to see it. I think, for me, now you could judge me all you want. I would not argue, but say that I am comfortable saying that there are 3 Predator movies. There's Predator, Predator 2, and Predators. Now, am I saying necessarily that, Predators is a great movie? No, but I, like, subjectively, for the most part, I enjoyed it. There were some things that I did not exactly like in that film. I thought Lawrence Fishburne's character was kind of shoehorned in, and it didn't exactly make sense, but it is what it is. However, I did enjoy the premise, the overall premise of the film, about how predators will take predators from our planet, quote unquote predators from our planet, put them onto their planet and hunt them, basically. So I did enjoy that premise. So basically, from Predators is the cutoff. Definitely the first 2, but Predators is the cutoff. After that is, yeah, no. Ryan Garber says, "Damn, too early. I'm at work right now. I'll be here for another 4 hours. I'll watch later. Just stopped in to share some love." Thank you so much, Ryan Garber, and I hope you enjoy the replay. Like I said, I'm not planning on going for too long because I'm pretty much by myself, but I'm going to be going into the information about this movie that we know right now. Ms. Martin Muses, hello. Good to see you. Deep Pensec, hello and hail to you. Thank you so much. Drewdat Games, Twitch Raid. Thank you so much, Drewdat. Sorry, I've been really busy today. My brother also did an impromptu visit with my niece. So yeah, I had an interesting afternoon. I saw a Dune. And I will give my impressions of it now. You might agree with me, you might ostracize me, but I'll give my honest take on the film, which I did see this morning, which is partly the reason why I wasn't able to watch the full Ozzy this morning. So that's the reason. Nick McCabe, hey there, Mara. Hello there, chat. Good to see you. Good to see you too, Nick, as well. Soul Assassin, please hit that like and share the stream. Thank you so much, Soul. I remember thinking the same when a friend showed me the fan film a few months ago. Yeah, so I mean, I'm just like basically finding out about it now, and it's very coincidental, very, very, very coincidental that the plots. Now, it's one thing. There's one thing for the tropes to kind of match up a bit because to be fair to Hollywood, and I'm not exactly defending Hollywood, but to be fair to Hollywood, there's really nothing original anymore. Like a lot of it is based solely on universal tropes and things like that. So you could argue, like basically argue, I'm taking a Shakespearean film and play like adaptation course, and if you look at how Shakespeare structured his plays, you can look and like so this film kind of borrowed from this film borrowed from this. Nothing's really original anymore. However, it's one thing to have like a similar, like I said, tropes, but it's another thing entirely to kind of like blatantly rip off a fan film, if that is the case, if that is true, what they did. So, Jay the Earth's Predators is funny. I was like, it was an enjoyable film, not great, like not like, but it wasn't horrible. It was like one of those where it's like subjectively, like you sit back and watch it, kind of cringe at the shoehorn parts, but it for the most part have fun watching it, pretty much. Making Topher Grace a pseudo bad guy was stupid, but I agree Predators is good. Um, I don't know what you mean by pseudo bad guy. Now maybe like you're arguing that like casting him as a pseudo bad guy was stupid, and to that I kind of agree because other than the '70s show, I don't think he's exactly that good of an actor. But at the same time, I get just from my psychology major background, I did kind of appreciate that little subtle twist and like it's kind of going into the psychopathy and sociopathic mindsets of certain people where they don't exactly come across as outright predators, but they themselves still are predators. So I did kind of enjoy that just from that angle. So but yeah, I think like Predators, like I said, is enjoyable. AVP is a guilty movie for me. Yeah, that's also a guilty pleasure movie for me as well. I was Team Xenomorph, but I loved watching both of them go at it pretty much. Taylor M, Twitch raid from Judat Games. Hey Taylor, good to see you. Yes, YouTube needs to do that, kind of like Twitch, where you can raid people and things like that. So, Maza, hey, good to see you, Maza. The Oz AVP Requiem would be a decent watch if you didn't have to wear night vision goggles to see what the hell was going on. Yeah. Looking forward to my thoughts on Dune. I will give my thoughts like around the end of the stream. So remind me, like I said, you might agree with me, you might ostracize me in some regards, but I will give my honest opinion about the film. So anyway, thank you. Got through the chat. Let's go into. Sorry, chat jumped to me again. Let's go. Hey, Slash and Burn Theory. I did like Adrian Brody Predators, but Lawrence Fishburne. Yeah, so he felt shoehorned in. Like you could have removed Lawrence Fishburne, and I don't think it would have been like it would have made much of a difference. Pretty much, it just didn't make sense to the plot. But we need some time we can play COD. Well, time zones are a bitch. But anyway, let's go into the first article, and it's just going to be basically going over the title. Now, what could the title be for this movie? What could the title be? Well, here it is, folks. I don't want to. Predator Prequel Prey to stream on Hulu in summer 2022. So not only is the movie itself just called Prey, it's Predator. It's a Predator film, but the title is called Prey. So I guess in a way, I guess in a way to kind of subvert expectations and say, well, you think it's about the predator, but really it's about the woman with the power of the double X chromosomes, and yeah, it's going to subvert expectations because she's really not the prey. Not only that, it's going to go straight to streaming on Hulu. So it's not they're not even putting it in theaters. Like how little faith do you have in your film that like it's going straight to streaming? Baby Arnold fights Baby Predator. Yeah, we need to see. I think we need to see that. Hey, Gamer, what? Hola, everyone. Good to see you. Good to see you, Gaming or what? Yeah, makes no fucking sense. Hey, TJ, good to see you. Yeah. So, no, that's gross. No, thank you, Disney. Fuck yeah. So Predator's going to be the prey. Well, yeah, I can see that, Trey. Like, basically, like, subverting expectations either through, like, hey, it's going to be called Prey, and you think the wham in there is going to be the prey, but guess what? We're going to subvert your expectations. She's really not going to be the prey, but then, like, also to subvert your expectations, the predator is going to be the prey, and it's so stupid. It really is so. It's like you couldn't have like the fan film, and we'll be going into that. It's called Warrior Predator, pretty much. Like you couldn't like if you're gonna rip off the fan, like and like you're gonna rip off the fan film, like whatever. But you couldn't have Predator in the title, like Predator Legacy or anything like that. Like you can't have like the definitive name in it, like that, like that's part of the franchise. Like you change. Anyway, let's go into this article. So we can like just a gauge of like everything that's entailed with this film. So Prey, which is set in the Predator universe. So basically, it's kind of like one of those. I can't say this without risking triggering Rhino, but it's like one of those like a Star Wars story spin-offs. That's like essentially what I'm getting just from this first part of the sentence alone. It's in the Predator universe. It's not supposed to be just in the Predator universe. It's supposed to be within that time, like just that same timeline, that same story, that same lore, and things like that. Not universe. Dead Punk Age, the first two Predator films did that storyline better. Yeah, and you weren't here earlier, but I did say I did enjoy Predators, and that for me is like as far as just the solely Predator films is the cutoff. So, with an indigenous woman as its lead, will stream on Hulu in the United States in summer 2022. In some international markets, it will stream on Disney Plus under the Star brand, and in Latin America, it will premiere on Star Plus. Now, Maza, I know is, and the Oz are Aussie, so you have the Star brand. Is that how you watch like those movies? Oh shit! Fucking hell, Rhino. Yes, I did trigger you. I did fucking trigger you. But hey, good evening to you, and I hope you enjoyed. Hope you had fun on the full Aussie, which I wasn't able to watch this morning. Elizabeth Warren versus Predator Biden is going to be a pass for me. Yeah. But is Star what you guys have now that Raging Rhino is in the chat? Through Disney Plus, that part. But yeah, but in other countries, that's what they can watch it on. So I'm not gonna watch it. I do have Disney Plus. I got it through Verizon. It's a Verizon customer, but I'm not gonna watch it. Not even on Hulu. Even though I could like kind of like borrow my brother's username and password. So reports about the existence of a Predator reboot were out there, but its first look, title, and the timing of its release were officially announced on Friday as part of its Disney Plus Day promotional event. Prey is produced by Jane Myers and is one of a slate of films from 20th Century Studios. Prey is directed by Dan Trachtenberg of 10 Cloverfield Lane fame. Its official log line is set in the world of the Comanche Nation 300 years ago. The action thriller follows Naru, the skilled warrior who fiercely protects her tribe against a highly evolved alien predator. Because we're going to believe that a chick with a bow and arrow is going to take on the predator, pretty much. So, so the how do I put this nicely without insulting Legolas from Lord of the Rings? But yeah. So basically, we're gonna believe that a teenager, because she's supposed to be a teenager, from what like everything else has come out about this movie, is with a bow and arrow is going to take on the evolved race of the predator. So, Predator versus Spartans or Samurai would be amazing. Which one would I mean, if you were to go back that far, yeah. Trying to think. What other? I mean, if we're going to go kind of indigenous, maybe Maori warriors. That could be interesting. I mean, like, it would still be a little bit of a stretch, but I could see, like, I would be interested in something like that. But actual Maori warriors, like, that are men, because I don't care if the warriors are men or not. I just want to see them fighting the predator. That could be interesting. Dead Punk Gage. I think the original Predator writers are still trying to sue Disney over the rights, so maybe Disney's trying to pull a DC and change over the legacy characters. Maybe they could be doing that. I mean, it's Disney, so I wouldn't put anything past them. Hello, Tina and Gossip of Mine. Good to see you. We're going over the bow and arrow versus high tech alien tech. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like you're supposed to believe that she can take on Pocahontas can take on the Predator pretty much. Hey, Joshy, good evening. Yeah, Predator versus Pocahontas, pretty much. Predator with the Predator versus Millennial with the bow and arrow. Yeah. So, a bow and arrow versus an unknown metal net that shreds people into coleslaw. Yeah, that's a fair fight. Yeah. So I'm saying, I mean, granted, this plot could have been interesting. Could have been interesting because you do have that primitiveness to the weaponry, but at the same time, you'd want to make it at least set in a historical time period where there's some believable instance where they could defend against the predator in a way, like a bow and arrow is not exactly going to be viable against her. She uses a stick, and the predator has a proton gun. Yeah, he would kill her in 5 minutes. He decimates the entire tribe if he wanted to, if he truly wanted to. Now, according to their mindset and their traditions and their beliefs, the predators I'm talking about, that they only really target other predators, quote unquote warriors, because they don't go after those who don't carry weapons, who are not a threat to them, because it's I guess cowardice is probably a good way to put it. Like in their minds, like they wouldn't go after anybody like that. But just based on how advanced they are with their technology, like he could decimate their entire village. So I'm glad I could give you some laughs, Deep Pansec. So yeah, so this is what we're getting. This is what we're getting, and it's going straight to Hulu. Keep in mind, I'm pretty sure that Native Americans back then used stone arrowheads, and Arnie could barely wound a predator with a grenade-tipped arrow. Yes. So so there it is. Hey, Dr. Chester. So, but thank you all, like I said, for hanging out with me. This is kind of an impromptu stream, and I don't know, Cuba. I couldn't make it. I told her I wasn't going to be able to make it this evening, and I have not seen any tweets from her indicating that it is going to be on tonight. So if you are on Twitter, harass Minority Home. Say, hey, is Talk Nerdy to us tonight? Harass her, because I won't be able to do it. Inking Talia while lurking. Thank you so much, Stunning and Brave Megatron. Yes. So I'm assuming because you're inking Talia that you finished Poison Ivy. So. Oh my god, Rhino. But anyway, alright. I like when my notifications go off. The indigenous actor Amber Midthunder plays Naru, who, according to Disney, wants to prove her worth as a warrior and certainly gets her chance when she comes face to face with the most dangerous hunter of all, the otherworldly predator. It's not clear whether Prey will be released in theaters. The Predator franchise began in 1987 with Arnold Schwarzenegger top-lining the original title. 5 more titles in the franchise have been released since then, most recently 2018's The Predator, directed by Shane Black. So, 5 more titles in the franchise, Predator 2, Predator. So I'm guessing are they including AVP? The AVP movies and the Predator? So I'm guessing they do that as 5. But I don't exactly count, at least within that direct franchise, the Alien vs. Predator movies. Those are kind of like spin-offs. So there technically is 3. Autism is the next step in evolution. Yeah. Exclusive on Hulu. Yeah. Hey Dan, good to see you. Yeah. So it's and Jacob, good to see you as well. And I'm seeing Patrick, teenage wife girl versus invisible Brock Lesnar. Yeah, pretty much. So let's see. I'm not able to do Talk Nerdy to Us tonight. So if you're, like I said, I was telling you, if you guys are on Twitter, then harass Steph. Because it's supposed to be on her channel tonight, according to the schedule. And I don't know if she's going to have it or not, pretty much. Could be wrong, but didn't Native Americans in general have very strict gender roles? It's becoming a bit of cliche for young women, even in the past, to buck the rules. Pretty much. In terms of, I guess, roles, so they were pretty cut and dry, to use a cliched phrase of, like, the men were the hunters and the women were the gatherers, essentially. The evolutionary roles that have basically defined essentially defined the physical characteristics of men and women, pretty much. But essentially, like, they were like the hunters and gatherers. The women were the gatherers. They stayed back, raised the kids, cooked the meals, things like that. Took care of, like, the teepees or whatever they lived in. I'm sorry if I sound very callous when I describe it that way, and the men went out to hunt. They were the warriors. And so basically, this is kind of like one of those where it's like feminist fanfic 101 scenarios where it's like, let's have the woman, buck the patriarchal system and have her want to be a warrior. It's been there, done that, and done better, pretty much. And it's like, I'm at a point where I'm like, stop it. Like, you're not original, you're not new, and it's not, the way you're going, it's not going to be any good. So, yeah, and Predator will be looking for the artistic Indian. Yeah. They would be exiled or killed by the tribe if they were to do that. Yeah, she would have no chance against a predator. It's ridiculous. Yes, it's basically like, you came in a little late, Tina, but I say, like, the woman with the power of the double X chromosome with the bow and arrow is going to take on an alien species with incredibly advanced technology. We're supposed to believe that. And the rest of this goes into the other movies that are, were, I guess, announced and things like that. But yeah, so there's some images that were released, which we'll see in Data Razor's tweets, because it looks to be that, not exactly putting the entire blame on Disney, but it looks to be the ones associated with the film, making the film, writing the film, and so forth, underneath Disney and 20th Century Fox, possibly ripped off a fan film with the same premise, essentially. The new Predator movie will probably be the first PG-13 Predator, unless you count AVP. Well, it'll be the first solely Predator movie. Yeah, PG-13. So, like I said, I don't exactly count. I count the Alien vs. Predator movies as kind of spin-offs, essentially, where it's like you have the Predator timeline and then kind of like an offshoot, Alien vs. Predator. So that's how I would characterize the AVP movies. But yeah, this would be the first PG-13 Predator film, which, again, in itself, the plot is stupid. It's like as stupid as when Expendables 3 made itself PG-13, with the belief that it would make more money because more people would see it. And I'm thinking, you do realize that the people that you would want to see the Expendables 3 weren't allowed to see the first two because they were rated R. And it did a disservice to the film because people who wanted to go see it because they were used to the rated R premise were left disappointed because it didn't deliver on what the first two established. And this is going to be the same thing with this movie. People are going in, with the understanding, essentially, that the Predator films are rated R. They've been rated R, and they should always be rated R. Kind of like the Deadpool movies. You saw how well PG-13 Deadpool worked. It doesn't work like a PG-13 Blade movie. It will not work. Some movies, some characters and premises do not work as anything below rated R, and Predator is one of them. Alien would be one of them. So, you think she's going to do the stream on locals? Well, there you go. Rough Girl says, "What's up, beautiful Jade Shadow?" Thank you so much, Rough Girl. So yes, I did an impromptu stream discussing the new Predator film because we got the how do I put this? The title is going to be called Prey, and right now it's exclusively going to be streaming on Hulu. No theatrical release at all announced right now. So they don't even have faith in their film to even attempt to release it in theaters. Yeah, why choose Indians with bows and arrows? Well, on the other side of the Atlantic, there are people with muskets. Yes. Now, granted, the muskets also would not exactly be that useful against alien technology, but it would give you a better fighting chance than the wooden bow and arrow. Yeah, AVP could have been better if it were rated R. Like, some things just don't work. Some characters, some franchises, and so forth do not work as anything below rated R. So, yeah. Killing one of her favorite child. Yeah, and I thought like with Trey, I thought it was bad enough when the Predator the twist with the Predator was that autism was the next step in human evolution. But now it's Disney's like hold my beer. Pretty much. On like 20th Century Fox under Disney is hold my beer. You think that was stupid? Watch us go full short bus with this. So, you know what? I wouldn't be fucking surprised. I really wouldn't be surprised. And on that note, with that comment, let's go into Data Racer's tweet. Because lo and behold, not definitive, not exactly, not conclusive, not definitive or anything like that. Not like, silver bullets, guilty but beyond reasonable doubt or anything like that. But highly plausible and incredibly suspicious possibility that those working on this film under Disney ripped off a fan film. Like, that is not to denigrate fan films, because their fan films have shown that they can be better than Hollywood films, but to scrape that bottom of that barrel because you're so devoid of any creativity is mind-boggling. Yeah, they're trying to say a girl with a bow and arrow, because she's supposed to be a teenager, is better than a man. Yeah. You know what? If that ends up being the scenario, I'm like releasing in theaters, I will watch it. I will watch it just to see the Predator thrash the main character and show like pretty much. Watch this, Rough Girl. Watch. Yeah. Watch this, because I saw this earlier. Data Racer says Disney's new female Predator movie is a blatant copy of a 2019 fan film called Warrior Predator. And that was Warrior Predator. I have the YouTube link up. We're not exactly going to watch it necessarily, but we'll kind of like jump through it without playing it to show that, yeah, very, very, very close. Both are about an indigenous female warrior who fought the Predator 300 years ago. Disney is so lazy they're literally stealing SJW fan fiction. So let's bring up these images, all right? So here it is. So here it is. No, not in the Dark Ages. No, similar time period that Prey is set. And yeah. And says called Prey because she obviously does survives and travels to the future. Dies. Or Tina, it could be the title could be subverting expectations, and we're led to believe that she is the prey, but surprise, motherfucker, she's not. Basically, the woman overcomes and survives, and I get and then they part with cowboys going with mutual respect in the opposite directions, pretty much. Yeah. So I don't know, but like I said, I mean, if she does die, and then 20th Century Fox under Disney has the balls to do that, okay, fine, take my money, just to see that ending. I will spend my money to watch that movie. But I very much doubt it. Very much doubt it. Disney's making a Predator movie with smiles. You know what? I know this is gonna crush you, rough girl, but I'm waiting for them to come out with the flamboyantly gay Predator. And he has to be flamboyantly gay, not just like semi-gay, but flamboyantly so, kind of like Q-Force. So, but here it is. Go back. All right, so here it is. There's a Variety tweet, and then there's a screenshot of Warrior Predator. And look, very similar. Now, granted, she's holding a spear, but yeah, pretty fucking similar. So you see that? You see that? All right. And look at that. Like the Predator even has the laser, the sight. And we're supposed to believe that this chick can take him on. Hey, Snyder, Steppenwolf, good to see you, Metalong. Hey, Mara, stopping in and driving, so I'm listening to you. Good, no worries, Metalong. Hope you enjoy the show. So, yeah. Sorry. Disney probably thought that if it worked for Ruin Johnson, why wouldn't it work for Predator? Yeah, stealing fanfic, pretty much. So, yeah, so he still has, the laser sights right here. So, but yeah, we're supposed to believe that she can take him on with this. And then you have this right here. So here it is. Here's the description. All right. At first, I was going to have a male predator versus a male warrior, but we've already seen that. A lot. Totally a lot. So I immediately threw that idea out, and since most of my films are female-centric, I decided to stick with that angle. My first draft for the script had a female warrior taking on a male predator, accompanied with the task of finding a good predator costume. So taking on the patriarchy. No, gay with an alien lover and a trans kid named Alien, yeah. He's gotta be flamboyantly gay. The only acceptable conclusion to this upcoming film is the spine and skull being on the trophy case at the end. Yeah. Just know this movie should not have been made. Should not have been made. That female predator is straight up me on date night. Okay, alright, so there was no way in hell I was going to be able to make one myself. I wouldn't know where to start. So I did the only sensible thing I could think of. I hit up social media and began the arduous task of looking for professional cosplayers with legit costumes. I stumbled upon a few good predators, but truth be told, none of them were the right fit, personality-wise. Okay, first off, what does that mean personality-wise? I mean, do you mean, kind of butted heads creatively, or what? I mean, they're playing a predator, so, that's the personality. That's the personality. So I don't know what you mean by personality-wise. And then it hit me. What do all the Predator movies have in common? All the main characters are male. Who the fuck cares? The heroes and the Predator. And the heroes and the Predators. So what? And since I was already doing a female-led story, why the hell not go the distance and have a female Predator? No! 2 female Predators. 2 female Predators. Yeah. You really pulled over the patriarchy there. Newcomer Lexi McCowan is an actual member of the Choctaw Nation, and after casting her as warrior, I put extra effort into making sure that her culture was properly represented. I hand-stitched her dress myself, which let me tell you was a pain. I haven't hand-stitched an entire outfit in ages, so the whole process really made me long for my sewing machine. Alright, so. Now, okay, yes, to be fair, to be like, be fair, I would kind of like, to play devil's advocate if I were making this film, and that's a big fucking if, because still sounds incredibly awful, but I would still want to make sure that I'm accurately reflecting the culture that I'm depicting, the historical figures that I'm showing. Yeah, so brave. Yeah, so brave, so stunning, pretty much. That I'm accurately depicting whatever, like in this case a tribe, whatever, like, race or ethnic group, essentially. So to play devil's advocate, like I kind of agree with that last paragraph. We want to make sure that, if I'm going to be depicting a certain um a certain tribe, or like thereabouts, that I would make sure that's accurate. Like that she's not going to walk around with a Gucci bag or anything like that. Or it's going to be reflective of whatever period it's set in. No matter where it's set. Hey, QP Malik and Mystic Red Knight. No matter where it's set. So if I'm setting it in, like, say, feudal Japan, I'm not going to cast a bunch of white people. I'm going to cast Japanese, because feudal Japan, like, you would rarely, if ever, see a white person. If I'm setting it in Egypt, I would cast, like, those who are of Egyptian or Arabic descent in that region. So I'm not going to have like a whole cast of, like, white people or Japanese people or whatever. Like, it would be accurately reflective of where and when I'm setting the movie. So I get that. But at the same time, I'm looking at this description going, this is not exactly stunning and brave of you. Like, to have okay, fine, you have two female predators. Yeah, like, no shit. There are females of that species. So, but again, so what if we only saw the males of that species? So what? It's like one of my favorite movies. Not favorite movies, but movies, like military movies that I very much enjoy watching, is a movie called Heartbreak Ridge. If any of you have seen it, you know which movie I'm talking about. If you have not seen that movie, it stars Clint Eastwood, and he is a gunnery sergeant in the Marines, ready to retire. But before he can retire, he's basically ordered with turning around a recon platoon and basically turning them into the fighting platoon that they should be, the recon platoon that they should be, because they've kind of been ignored. They've been kind of pushed aside. Their last sergeant retired and didn't really give a fuck, pretty much. So Clint Eastwood's character, who is Gunny Highway, is tasked with turning that platoon around. That movie is predominantly male. There are only two main female characters, and I say main in general, that have more than just supporting background roles, and that is the actress who plays Clint Eastwood's ex-wife, and the actress, I can't remember her name, but I loved her character, who owned the bar that Highway and the other Marines would frequent. Who was all I love her character, because I love when she she kind of cursed with the best of them, and she said some of my best years were with a Marine, pretty much. Like, she was kind of a based chick, pretty much. She was a based chick. And but they were the only two female characters. And for me, when I say the worst parts of the film, I don't mean they were so bad that I can't enjoy the film, but they kind of took me out, and I skip over them. And those are the scenes between Highway and his ex-wife. But they could remove the ex-wife aspect of that movie, and I think it would have been a better I still love the film, but it would have been a better film. And it has a predominantly male cast. And like I said, I don't care. I really don't care. Yeah, dope and Heartbreak Ridge. Movie is dope. Eastwood was a beast, yeah. There is a short fan film of Predator, in near the end of the Crusade, a Saracen and Templar join forces to battle Predator. That just start to hunt in the region. I'm gonna have to track that down, Keeping Malik. Thank you for letting me know. Yeah, like just to give essentially an idea. And I see Rough Girl sent a super sticker. It is a pair saying, "Cool." Thank you so much, Rough Girl, for the $2 super sticker. And like I said, predominantly male cast, and there have been other movies that I've very much enjoyed that have like barely any women in it, if at all. Because to me, it doesn't matter if the characters are male or female, as long as they are, if I can either empathize with them or at least enjoy watching them on screen. It doesn't matter to me. I think so. I think so. But like I said, like I didn't care for her character. Really didn't care for her character. So I didn't care to really remember her name. But I'm pretty sure that's it. But yeah. So there's that. So there's that. So we're gonna kind of like I have it. I have the fan film, the Warrior Predator fan film up. We're not exactly gonna play it. We're just gonna like skip through and just to see like like what is entailed in this movie. Hey, Trey Courtney, or sorry, Phil says hail the beautiful Mara Jade, and Trey Courtney said that he loves the craft. Majority of the cast is women. Yeah, doesn't matter what the majority of the cast is. If a good film is good, it's a good film. You thought that was the name of the fan film? Fans just want to see a good film. It doesn't matter if it's all male. Yeah, Hollywood's off. They think we want all women in a film. Yeah, I really don't want to be. I don't need to be reminded that I have two boobs and a hoo ha. That doesn't, to me, that does not make like automatically make me empathize with the character or anything like that, because empathy transcends superficial qualities, and Hollywood doesn't seem to get that. So, hello, Tim F. The Predator had a majority female cast. I thought I saw parts of it. The only one I know of was Olivia Munn. But there might have been were I guess a good number of females, but like the first Predator film had only one female in it, and that was the woman they were kind of dragging along with them. And Predator 2 is kind of the same way, where it's like really it's predominantly male. So, but it didn't matter. So let me share the YouTube. Here it is. All right, let me just. So here it is. It's called Warrior Predator. So let's see. So this is title. Trying to skip through. So there are the two female predators. Now, granted, I know it's a fan film, but doesn't that one on the left look a little bit too human skin tone for a predator? Like, this is like a little bit like, I know it's a fan film. I'm not trying say that's like oh, like automatically like how dare they? But it's a little too human skin tone for that species. Because a little body paint would go a long way. Just saying. So yeah, like Trey and Sentinel are they're green. Yeah, I'm looking at it going, that's a human. That's a human. The other one, I can see a little bit right here in the right leg, but for the most part, it's I guess the armor or whatever, it's wearing kind of covers it. I don't know if we're gonna see better shots or not. Here's trying to so dark. I don't want to play this. Okay. So again, okay. She does have a bodysuit on, but it's flesh toned. So there's a shot of the one predator. It's an albino predator. Yeah. Predator. Okay. Predator Dark Ages. Okay. That's it. All right. I'm using StreamYard. Whenever I stream, I use StreamYard. Whenever I'm able to do videos, I use OBS. And whenever I stream on Twitch, I use Streamlabs OBS. So, but YouTube is StreamYard. It's a website. They do have a free version, but you're allowed only so many hours per month to stream. And they do have a paid version where you can pay per month or for the year. And the paid version is where you're able to get rid of the. See where I have the Revi Chibi up at the top right hand corner? The free version, you see the duck logo for StreamYard. The paid version, you get like your own background, the video clips. Like, I'll just play one just as an example. Let's see. Which one would be a good one?
Everyone I know has a big butt. Come on, Simone, let's talk about your big butt.
So you have video clips, pretty much. Yeah. So catch you later, Metalong. Good to see you. Hope you enjoyed what you saw, and hope you enjoy the replay. So yeah, Boobarm was bad for SJWs. Yeah. Home Alone Sweet Home is an indication of what Disney has in store for all those Fox properties. We as fans are in some disappointment. Yeah, pretty fucking much. So let me just skip through this. It's kind of I want to play it, but I got hit with copyright shit. So there's the warrior. Come on. So yeah, it's a bodysuit. Okay, still a little too flesh colored. So I guess she's, I don't know, I guess defeated. The warrior there. There's, I guess, the sign of respect right here. And yeah, that's it, pretty much. And we're not going to play it, but yeah. Okay. So apparently Steph had no idea you weren't going to be on Talk Nerdy. Okay, I love her to death. But I can pull up I can take a screenshot of my DM to her to show, like, to say that I told her last week that I would do, because it was supposed to be on her channel last week, and I told her I'll do it tonight. I'll do it twice in a row because I'm not able to do it next week. Because she was tired from her trip. I can take a screenshot of that. I have the receipts. I said, I'm not able to do it next week, so why don't you, like, I'll do it. And you can take next week. Cool. All right. And I did it. I did it last week. It would have been on her channel. You're the only person who took the time to explain. Thank you. You got a new member when I get paid. You don't have to do that, rough girl. And thank you so much for sending it in a $5 super chat. But yeah, so but if you have any questions, you can ask me on Twitter or ask me the next time I stream. Or if you follow me on Twitch, I have a Twitch, Jade_Fire, that I normally stream on in the evenings, some evenings during the week. So if you have any questions, I can let you know. But that's what I do as far as streaming on YouTube. But yeah, so like I said, I got the receipt. Sunny and Brave Megatron, you want me to take a screenshot of that and send you that message and go, hey, girl, yeah, she told you she couldn't do it this week. You know what? Fuck it, I'm gonna do it, and I'll DM you it. So let me so you can, like, I'll also leave this up. I got to go to my Twitter. Okay, I don't know why Steph sent me the link to it. Hold on. Okay. Okay, here. You're gonna hear it. You're gonna hear me, the sound it makes whenever I take a screenshot. So I'm going to crop this so I don't dox any of my other DMs. And I'm going to send it to you, Sunny and Brave Megatron. I know that, where are you? Jesus fucking Christ, I have a lot of DMs. Oh, there you are. There you are. You got the receipt, Sunny and Brave Megatron. Mario presents Exhibit A. It's like I had the receipts. Like she forgets we have a DM together. So yeah. So I sent it to you, Sunny Brave Megatron. She can say, yeah, she said she wasn't gonna be able to be on. And that was like, a week ago. Yeah. So there it is. All right. So while Sunny and Brave Megatron reminds her of that, let me see. Let's see if there's okay. So that was it. I'm gonna stop sharing the screen. That I kind of wanted to talk about as far as the Predator. I figured rather than do a video on it, because by the time I would be able to do a video on it, it would be old news. So I figured, you know what, fuck it. I can't do talk nerdy to us tonight. So I'll go live for a relatively short stream and discuss the new title, how it's going to be aired, and the fact that it looks like they ripped off a fan film. Orange Eye Reviews, you're out. No worries. Got to get going. Yes, this was a stolen concept, and Disney and 20th Century Fox should be ashamed. Yeah. So, not entirely surprised, but at the same time, yeah, they just come out and have the balls to say, yeah, but they're not going to, because they know that they're going to have to pay this person some form of royalties, pretty much, and that's why they're not going to do it, and that's why they're kind of tiptoeing around, at least with the lawsuit that's still going on. So they're not calling it Predator, they're calling it Prey, and yeah, so it's talk nerdy to us. Talk nerdy to us. My nerdy home, aka Steph, and I do a stream weekly, every Saturday at 10 p.m. Eastern, and I told Steph last week. I literally sent the receipt to Sunny and Brave Megatron. Oh, shut up, Blackroyd. Yeah, she should sue. But anyway, so I'm going to end it. It's about to get hot in here. Well, it tends to get hot on the stream, even though it's talk nerdy to us. But yeah, it can tend to get hot. But yeah, we do a stream called Talk Nerdy to Us, and we go through, whoever's hosting brings up pop culture topics and things like that to discuss, and they're most of the time they're cringe, because let's face it, most of the time nowadays we can't have anything nice. So I sent the receipt to Sunny and Brave Megatron. If you wanted to go savage, you could go with mounted step archers. Yeah, pretty much. Yeah. So, hey, Tariel. I think that's the way they'll do it. Yeah. All right. So to wrap this stream up on kind of a different topic, I mentioned at the beginning of the stream, or around the beginning of the stream, that I saw Dune. I finally got around to watching Dune 2021. Right? Okay, like I said, I'm going to give it my honest opinion about the film. You might agree with me, you might ostracize me, you might be like, yeah, I agree, disagree, it is what it is. But anyway, okay, so overall, I give the movie 7 out of 10. This part, 7 out of 10. Now, I generally don't like to give individual parts scores because what could happen is that I could see part 2 and it could be like totally exceed what part 1 was and up the score pretty much. So if I were just to rate part 1, it would be a 7 out of 10. A decent part 1. It was like a lot of slow build up. I don't have any problem with slow build up, but it's finally getting to the actual action part in part 2. And I knew coming into this movie, I knew what to expect. I knew what the characters were going to do. I knew what characters were going to survive and things like that. So I knew it all. I knew it all. I know the general plot of the first Dune. The worst parts, and I say worst loosely, involved Rebecca Ferguson and Timothy Chalamet to an extent. For Timothy Chalamet's portrayal of Paul Atreides, hello, Sil, good to see you. I'm just wrapping up, so hopefully you enjoyed the replay. For his portrayal of Paul Atreides, to excuse it, to defend it, I will be fair to him and say that Paul Atreides is not exactly how do I put this? He's a pretty dry character until he joins with the Fremen. I'm being generous with my rating. I'm being generous. I don't like grading parts. The reason why I'm being generous is because I did enjoy the visuals. I did enjoy the performances for the most part. The weakest performances were. I will give my answer to that. It's 1984 Dune. I have seen it, and I will give my impressions in comparison to this one. And I did enjoy the performances for the most part. And like I said, the weakest ones were Rebecca Ferguson and Timothy Chalamet. Now, to be fair to Chalamet's Paul Atreides, like I said, his character is not exactly... doesn't have a lot of energy. He's pretty dry for the most part. And even in the book and things like that, he's not exactly... he's kind of an unassuming character. Like you wouldn't expect to... Shut up, Dan Blackroyd. You wouldn't exactly expect him to be the chosen one, essentially, based on like how he is. But at the same time, he at least had enough inflection in his voice for some parts that like, okay, I can see him becoming what's the Muad'Dib. I can see him becoming that. Eventually, by the time it got to the end of the movie, like, I could see him becoming that. Rebecca Ferguson, on the other hand, fucking hell, I do not believe her at all as Lady Jessica. I do not. Like, Lady Jessica, like, it's one thing to show deference to the Reverend Mother, but it's another thing. Like, she's so fucking mousy and timid the entire movie. And it gets to the point, finally at the end, we're like, okay, you're finally showing a fucking spine and spirit. Like, that's not, like, for most of the part 1, that's not Lady Jessica. I do not buy her as Lady Jessica. I do not buy her as Lady Jessica at all. Like, she could turn my opinion around in part 2, but for all of part 1, like, I don't buy it. I really don't fucking buy her as Lady Jessica. The best acting performance in the movie, in my humble opinion, was Oscar Isaac as Duke Atreides. I thought he did a fantastic job as Duke Leto Atreides. But like for the most part, Oscar Isaac is a phenomenal actor in my opinion, and when given the opportunity and actual like stuff to work with the role, he can deliver a very good performance. Well, she's supposed to be intimidating, but Lady Jessica has a backbone to her. So yeah, the Reverend Mother is intimidating, and like I said, it's one thing to show deference to the Reverend Mother, but Rebecca Ferguson was so fucking timid, and she mumbled her lines. I'm like, can you? I'm like, I felt like Doctor Evil. Like, throw me a freaking bone here. So, but the best part was, at least acting wise, was Oscar Isaac as Duke Atreides. He was very good. To kind of backtrack a little bit, the other one that I was not impressed with, but like I said, could change my mind in part two, and that was Stellan Skarsgård as Baron Harkonnen. But then again, he wasn't in that movie that much, so I'm not exactly going to be um as critical of him as I am of Rebecca Ferguson. I felt like he delivered his lines kind of like he was ready to like he had just taken a Valium and was ready to fall asleep. But he wasn't in the movie that much, so I'm not going to exactly be entirely critical. Good night, Joshy. Good, thank Warrior. Thank you for stopping by. So I'm not going to be entirely critical of him. So, but those three, acting wise, were the worst. But Rebecca Ferguson was the worst of the three. Oscar Isaac was the best. I did enjoy. I only hate her portrayal because I did not buy her as Lady Jessica, and that kind of ties into my thoughts about the 1984 Dune. I did enjoy Jason Momoa as Duncan Idaho. I knew what was going to happen to him, but like I said, I know the plot. He did have that kind of surfer bro personality a bit, but I think in a way it kind of worked, especially with the friendships he had developed with Paul Atreides, because you have that where you do believe that they have a genuine friendship. So so I buy it, but I did like he also was not in the film that much, but I did enjoy his portrayal as Duncan Idaho. I also enjoyed Josh Brolin's portrayal as uh as what is his name? I'm blanking on his name. Fucking hell. Patrick Stewart played him in the 1984 version. But anyway, I know what happened to him as well. I did enjoy his portrayal, his performance. I still have an issue with them race and gender swapping Dr. Leah Kynes because, spoiler alert, the Doctor has the outcome's the same. The means to the outcome is different, but the outcome is the same. So why did you bother fucking changing it in the first place? Yeah, Gurney Halleck. Thank you, Gurney Halleck. I enjoyed his performance. I enjoyed like basically most of the male's performances I enjoyed. Pretty much. The actress they got to play Dr. Leah Kynes, she did do a good job. She did do a decent performance, but like I said, like what was the point? The outcome is still the same with the character for the most part. So it didn't change anything. It didn't really change anything. So but yeah, it's a lot of build up. Visuals were for like a lot of the scenes were stunning. I'm very curious to see how they portray the Fremen moving forward, because those were my favorite parts in the 1984 Dune. Well, I gotta look something up real fast because I'm blanking on another name, and if my computer decided to work. My computer decides to work. There he goes. Everett McGill. Everett McGill, if I remember correctly, played Stilgar in the 1984 Dune. Yes, he's the one who played Stilgar. So basically, Javier Bardem's character in the 1984 Dune. I loved his performance in that film. Kyle MacLachlan, while a bit too old to play Paul Atreides, was better in the role than Timothée Chalamet. Let's see. And then Chani in the Dune 2021 is played by Zendaya. She's barely in the film, and of course her stans are pissy about that. I don't have any really thoughts about her because she delivers like few lines. She delivers the initial lines you hear in the movie, and I'm like, okay, like that was fine, that was passable in her delivery, and then you kind of see her a little bit later on. So for me, I generally, I mean, I'm not a fan of her to begin with, but I can't exactly critique her because she was barely in the film, and I don't want to be unfair. Uh, yes, no, it was in it. It was in it. Like basically, it does. It follows. Both versions follow the tooth element, where the doctor places that false tooth in the Duke's mouth, so when he bites down, it releases a poison into the air. So that scene is in the Dune 2021 movies. That scene is in the movie. So yeah, like yeah, she's a horrible actress, but I don't want to exactly say anything about her performance in Dune because she was in it for all of maybe 5 to 7 minutes of the entirety of like the 2 hour, like the 2.5+ hours film. So um so yeah, so basically my impressions of the film, and I like D Panzek thinks I'm being like generous. Yeah, he was also in Heartbreak Ridge and Silver Bullet. Like I said, like he isn't one of the underrated actors of the time. Everett McGill. He's very good in what he does. I loved him as Stilgar. Um and I loved him in Heartbreak Ridge. And like he's shown, like basically just those movies, Dune, Heartbreak Ridge, and Silver Bullet, he's playing different characters and he's believable in all three roles. And that shows you like the how well good of an actor he was and how underrated he was. So yeah. Hey Keely, good to see you. You're coming in like the last wrap up pretty much because I will be signing off in a little bit. I'm just giving my impressions of Dune after talking about the new Predator movie. So yeah. So again, to sum up, overall impressions of Dune, I'm giving it a 7 out of 10 right now. Maybe it's a little too generous, but there were performances in it that I very much enjoyed. There were performances in it that I'm like, you pretty much suck. The visuals were stunning. The plant, like the for each of the planets was I loved. The design of the worms. I did enjoy the scenes with the Fremen, but they were at the very end, so it's not much I can say about them until we see part 2. So and then really no point in race and gender swapping the Doctor because the outcome was the same. So why did it matter? And the best acting performance in the movie was Oscar Isaac, hands down. And unfortunately, he played Duke Atreides. And anybody who's either read the book or seen the 1984 movie knows that knows what happens to him, and he's not going to be in part 2, pretty much. So there it is. And people under the series, yes, exactly, like different roles, different parts, and he was believable in all of them, pretty much. Dune, but with predators hunting worms and that would be actually pretty fucking cool. Actually, Soul Assassin. But anyway, yeah, I was talking about Heartbreak Ridge earlier, Steve, because that's one of the military movies I very much enjoy. It could be good. As I said, I don't generally like giving ratings to parts because I like to rate it as a whole. And right now, that's where the rating would stand. But part 2 could wow me, and I'm like, oh, like both parts together, the movie would be like an 8 or 9 out of 10. I don't know. I really don't know, but we'll see. We'll see. But anyway, thank you all for hanging out with me. I have to get up early again tomorrow, so I decided to do this impromptu stream and talk about the Predator movie and give my thoughts at the end of this on Dune 2021. So, I'm guessing Talk Nerdy to Us is tonight. I don't know. I sent the receipt to Stunning and Brave Megatron because she did know that I wasn't able to do it tonight. So, the photography was phenomenal. The score was great, but all in all, still like the 1984 version. I think, yeah, I would give the edge to the 1984 version. That version did take liberties with the adaptation of Dune, but I loved it. I enjoyed it. I mean, I loved it like subjectively. Enjoyed it. You have Sting as Prince Fade. I mean, come on. At least the Baron Harkonnen in that had at least somewhat of a personality. It didn't like seem like he was about ready to take his little nap time in the afternoon, like Stellan Skarsgård delivered his lines. But he could wow me in part two. We'll see. We'll see. But anyway, thank you all so much again for hanging out. Hope you all enjoyed this stream. I guess Steph is live on her Twitch playing Mario Kart. Surprise, surprise. I think Talk Nerdy to Us will be tonight. I don't know. It's so I don't know. I guess that it's up. We'll see. We'll see. But anyway, again, so the next time you'll see me as far as streaming will be tomorrow on Mark the Cyborg's channel. We are be discussing, I believe, 2 episodes, if I'm not mistaken, the next 2 episodes of Fate Stay Night, Unlimited Blade Works. So if you enjoy that anime, and if either of you've watched it, if you've watched it, don't spoil anything for me in particular or Mark because we have not watched it yet. Okay, she has the link up. Okay, all right, in an hour. Okay, try some manga. I want to get into reading manga because I'm pretty much over mainstream comics the way they're going right now. So if you know the anime, don't spoil anything for Mark or me because we have not seen it. We're going like per the episode recommendations groupings from KJ. But if you don't care about spoilers, come and check it out. 7 p.m. Eastern on Mark the Cyborg's channel, and then I'll look for any videos I might drop it during the week, which is kind of difficult sometimes for me to do, based on my schedule. But in the evenings, I stream on Twitch around 8 p.m. Eastern. Monday, I imagine I will be back to playing Mario Kart. So if you want to see me rage at that, tune in for that. For there, Tuesdays is tacos and tea bags and Splitgates, and you all know if you watch me then you're more than welcome to join if you have the game. I will send invites and so forth and group up. Thursdays is Resident Evil 7. And then Saturdays, we'll see. I have Call of Duty Vanguard, and I also have Nintendo Smash Brothers. So we'll see. But basically, that's generally my streaming schedule. Monday, Tuesday, and Thursdays, 8 p.m. Eastern, and then Saturdays, late afternoon, thereabouts, depending on when, because I have to save the evening for the Talk Nerdy to Us stream. So there is my schedule in a nutshell. So like, share, subscribe to my channel if you enjoyed this stream. Share the link out, if you will, pretty much. And yeah, been talking for over an hour, so my voice is going. I gotta sign off now. I will see you all later. Have a good rest of your night, or good rest of your day, depending on where you are in the world. And I will see you next time. Take care. I gotta find the stupid clip because stupid stream guys. Thank you.
You're still here? It's over. Go home. Go.